Happy birthday. It's a little early, but
Thanks.
it's going to go in the episode so that people know why they're... Birth, so that people know why there are party hats on our iPhones.
Oh, did you wear glasses?
Not yet. I can, though.
So one time I was babysitting, and I wasn't sure. I think I may have already told this story, but I'm going to tell it again. I wasn't sure what to do with the 3 younger cousins, so I was like, some of you get on that side, some of us get on this side. We each have like 8 pairs. You just fucking yeet it. And whoever has less pair on them at the end wins.
If it works, it works.
It worked. It was fun. Everybody had a great time. And then all the adults were really mad, even though I'd never seen them eat a pear. None of them looked like they've ever eaten a pear in their life. But they were really mad that the pear tree was empty.
It's the aesthetic.
It was behind the garage. And then Jason's like, whose bright idea was this? And I raised my hand. He was like, what? What were you thinking? I was like, I was thinking you left me with your children, and I wanted to have some fun.
So I threw pears at them.
And they threw them back. Dodgeball, motherfucker. We don't have fun. So childhood things, you guys ever... I know you jumped on the trampoline with me, or at least sat on it. Do you remember, like, cracked egg? Whenever you would jump around?
I do.
Yeah.
One of our neighbors, I think, broke his arm playing that game.
Yep. If I were a man, it would have been much worse. Or a male, rather. But I remember being yeeted into the sky and coming back down to have one leg in between the springs and the other leg on the ground. I was just tall enough that, like, it did give me a crotch shot and it hurt. But if I were to be a dude, I assumed that I would never be able to have kids.
Cracked your chances of fertilizing any eggs.
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't, like, fracture some kind of pelvic bone.
Jumping on the trampoline as a kid, I was always, like, the kid that went the highest. Because I've always been tiny. So, like, crack the egg was always terrifying.
It was, because it's like, you know, at the time, you don't call it a safe word, but you guys have a word when it's like, it's too much. Okay,
You're like, no, we're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say uncle.
When your arms are flailing in the sky, 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
But no, then they get really excited and they wait for the moment that your body touches the trampoline.
It touches the trampoline and then they do it again. You're like, oh!
Yeah, and then somebody
You fucking rock it.
Yeah. And then somebody's got to go tell the parents, like, hey, Hannah's in the tree. First time I ever did a split was walking down the steps to the garage at Geraldine's house. And there was a little Hot Wheelie car.
Ooh.
And then again, my crotch felt the thunder of the concrete. I was like, ow. And I was like, oh shit, I'm doing a split. Like, I was so excited.
Wait, straight up, you had yourself one of those movie stepped on the roller skate moments. Just, woo.
I did. But it was like
the Hot Wheels car just, woo.
Yep. I was right in front of a car too, so I'm like, this could have been a bad one.
What are the weird things you do as a kid?
Let me unlock the memories that I locked down. I threw a leg at people.
Care to explain?
Yeah, so my mom was an amputee, and she would throw her leg at me if she wanted my attention, so I thought it was a fairly normal, common practice. So if I wanted someone's attention and I had the leg, I would yeet that at them. But if I didn't want to get in trouble and I knew I was going to get in trouble, or if I didn't feel like getting hit with the leg that day, I would hide it in the trunk or like in the closet. And my mom would be like, where's my leg? I'd be like, it's in the trunk, Wendy. She'd be like, well, I don't have a leg. I can't go get it. I'd be, exactly. Kevin Hart, I exactly your ass. Like, you can't yeet stuff at me if you can't go get it. I remember my sister and I had like the Bratz Barbie doll head, so it was like from the shoulder up. For some reason, okay, so backstory, she said she was going to do my makeup one day or one night for school. And my brain was like, yeah, I can sleep in this and wear it the next day. Like, I was so excited. And it took hours. And I didn't smell the Sharpie. When she got done, I had like upside down crosses and like rituals written all over my face in Sharpie. And I was like in elementary school. And my mom came in and she was like, that is Sharpie. Like, we can't get it out. I was so excited too. I was like wanting to feel pretty.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, obviously I can't pull that trick on her. So her Bratz doll, I would just make the eyes, the pupils a bit bigger, like every night with a Sharpie until it was haunting. Until Barbie or the Bratz doll was just like staring at you going, she was freaked out. And I was like, I thought I was a genius. She had to know there was something going on. Like, I'm surprised she didn't know, because my circles couldn't have been that convincing. Also, when we lived in that trailer where the bunk bed separated our rooms, She had a friend over that was just as much of an asshole as she was. And they kept trying to lock me out of the bedroom, which I didn't want to be in anyways. I like to stay outside and like climb trees and play with dogs. But since they didn't want me in there, I was like, I'm going to be in there. Because we each had a door on our side of the room because it was originally 2 rooms. So they went somewhere and I overheard them try to plan some foolery. They had nothing else to do. They just wanted to mess with me. So I just set up camp on the top bunk under so many blankets. I had like my little DVD recorder thing. I had episodes of Fear Factor playing, and I had like my little headphones in that you plug in. I had my little pocket, and I was laying down, I was still, and every time I heard the door, I would just like be dead. And they could not find me for the whole day. And I had plans that day. Like Phineas and Ferb plans to be outside, but fuck that. Like now I gotta make sure I stay in this room because they don't want me in this room. They were both holding the doors, like sitting on them, leaning against them, holding them so that I couldn't come in. And I never showed up. And they were like, where's she at? So they went outside like 3 times. They came back inside. They asked my mom, and nobody knew where I was. I was just a clump of blankets, and nobody could find me. And I was like, I am stealth. And then eventually, like, the sun set, and they came in there, and everybody was worried. And I just, like, opened the blankets. I was like, alas, I've been here all along. My mom was pretty mad. I was like, you gotta admit, it's pretty smart. They didn't want me here.
They didn't want me in here, so I just hid in here.
She wasted her whole day with her friend.
Yeah. Kid logic is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, she was such a bully, but I wasn't big enough then to defend myself. I mean, that changed obviously when I got into middle school, but I had to think smart. I was like, okay, I don't have the upper hand on the street, so I just gotta outsmart the bitch. One time I just fucking like tripped her while she was riding her bike because she got on my nerves, and I was like, she probably had it coming, right? I just saw her bike coming, and I was like, I sacrificed my foot for that. She went flying. Those poor roses. But yeah, Marina always instigated that shit every single time. I never woke up thinking like, oh, like she was such a Candace, but she wouldn't tell on me. She would just like try to beat my ass, and I was like, dang, because I was small and she used to like beat my ass. I was like, I gotta get smarter, I guess. Like I used to learn how to wedge myself in between the door. I would move like my chest of drawers or like a tote, anything to give me extra like leverage so that she couldn't push my door open. And I would have my feet against that, which was against the wall in my back, because no matter how strong you are, you can't, like, if it's stuck, it's stuck. And then she started getting really mad that I was stronger, which I wasn't, it was just smarter. Did I tell you guys, have I told you guys about I know I have we recorded about how she used to make my family think that I needed to go get evaluated? She made us switch rooms. She told me that I would get to keep the TV. It was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. Large living room, massive kitchen. The bedroom closest to the living room was my sister's, and the one right across from the bathroom was mine. And she brought up a bargain one day. She said, hey, you can keep the TV if we can switch rooms. And so we did. And I was like, fuck yeah, SpongeBob. She didn't let me keep the TV. And I realized afterwards, because I don't just go opening people's doors, that she wanted to switch rooms because for some reason my door would lock from the outside. Inconvenient. But I also just didn't lock doors a lot. I didn't have a lot going on in my little child life. She was extremely bored, so she would just come shut it and lock it. And I didn't like being locked in there. So I would bang on the door to try to get out. And she would listen for the squeak of my Nana's recliner. She would wait for it to squeak. She would run back down the hall, unlock it, and then run back to her room. And then my mom and my Nana would come and open the door and be like, what's wrong? Like, why aren't you opening? Why are you banging on the door? Just open the door. I'm like, no, but it was locked. And they're like, no, you can't lock it from the inside. You have to lock it. And then I remember, like, my Nana looked at my mom and she was like, Wendy, we gotta get her seen about. Like, I don't think this one's right. And so my sister did that all the time until I learned how to untangle a wired hanger and get myself. I had to escape my own room.
Jesus.
You had to learn how to lock pick to get out of the room?
My bedroom. She pissed me off with something. It was probably the bedroom thing, and I went to school the next day and told everybody she had started her period because I didn't know what else to do. She was really upset. My family was really upset at me. I was like, I don't know. Like, fucking make her stop being a cunt, I guess.
Jesus.
Yeah, fix her behavior at home. I won't lie about her starting her period.
Oh, it wasn't a lie. She did. She started her period.
Yeah, the sibling dynamic for me was generally pretty chill.
That's good. No, I'm actually very glad that you had that. I'm super jealous because Marina and I are close now, but she was just bored, I guess. Oh, I used to get so annoyed. You know the flip phones? she would text, and you know, like you have to.
You had to push the buttons multiple times.
Yeah, and it would be like midnight, and she'd be like, I hated that noise. We had cats and dogs. We always had Callie the calico, and she had her litters. And then my mom had a cat that she named Crazy, and I think that one was actually pretty feral. Like that little kitten used to suck on my thumbs at night. I remember we got these 2 black lab puppies, and I was like, cool, you're a black lab, I'm gonna name you Shadow. And then my sister's unoriginal ass, she was like, oh, I'll name mine Sunny. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. I walked outside and there were always litters of cats. Yeah, no, my dad loved cats. He was terrified of mice. I remember poor Callie. We got Callie when she was a couple of years old, and her name was Callie, because I wanted to rename her, but then my dad was like, nah, Callie. And I'm like, okay, well, Callie the calico catted it. It's fine. And there was like a rat under the fridge, and he grabbed my cat and threw it at it.
Oh no!
I was like, poor Callie. And he started standing on the couches. I was like, I'd seen rats before, and ratatouilles. I was like, what is wrong with you? And I guess he was just terrified of the diseases they carry, so he threw my cat at it, and I was like, no! Callie is not going to, especially if you yeet her at it. Like, what do you mean?
He's out here freaking out like he lived through the bubonic plague.
No, he was fucking standing on the couch, like, just looking at it. And I was sitting on the other one. He was like, move your feet. I'm like, my feet? Callie and the rat are in the kitchen. And you just yeeted my cat. We have something else to talk about. You just yeeted my cat into another room. He was like, yeah, cats are supposed to catch mice. I'm like, I don't think that's how they catch them. I don't think that's it. I don't think you throw them. It's not Pokemon.